Hey everyone, today we're going to continue the story from last week's video. If you haven't seen the previous episode, then let me catch you up quickly. A young woman named Sarah lives in a dilapidated mansion on the edge of town. She has been receiving cryptic messages from beyond the grave, desperate pleas for help from spirits trapped in the house. She learns that these ghosts were murdered by her great-grandfather, a serial killer who used the house as his home base before moving to Alaska and faking his own death. Over the course of the week, she gradually frees the spirits from their tormented existence, ultimately breaking the curse placed on them by her evil ancestor. With the house now cleansed, she prepares to move on with her life. But it isn't over yet, not by a long shot. Let's jump in. Months passed. The land where Sarah's house once stood was fenced off, declared unstable. But rumors spread about the ash that never settled, the sprout that never died, and the woman who walked away with eyes like moss. In a distant city, a man named Elias worked in a forgotten wing of the National Archive. He specialized in anomalies, documents that couldn't be dated, maps of places that didn't exist, letters written in languages no one remembered. One day, a package arrived, no return address. Inside, a single photograph of a woman standing in a garden. Her eyes glowed green. The photo pulsed faintly in his hands. Elias felt drawn to it. That night, he dreamed of roots, of whispers, of a name, Sarah. He woke with a start, gasping for breath. Had he spoken it aloud? Was that why the dream felt so real? The photo lay on his desk, pulsing faintly. He traced the outlines of the woman's face, committing it to memory. When he awoke the next morning, his mind reeled. Images flashed before his eyes. He saw the woman again, this time walking through a crumbling archway. Behind her, a sprawling estate, overgrown and desolate. Memories not his own flooded his thoughts. Fragments of conversations, sensations of damp earth and decaying wood, the musky scent of aged paper. And always the whisper of that name, Sarah. Desperation clawed at him. He needed answers. He grabbed his coat and raced to the archive. Sifting through boxes filled with centuries' worth of discarded documents, he searched for anything connected to the woman in the photograph. Days bled into weeks, hope withering like a neglected garden. Just when he was about to give up, his fingers brushed against a faded map. Unfurling it, he saw the sprawling estate from his dream. With trembling hands, he traced its crumbling facade. Below the structure, a name, Blackwood Manor. Hope surged through him like a jolt of electricity. He knew where he had to go. Elias found the manor easily enough. It hadn't been marked on any modern maps, but his subconscious had guided him here. The iron gates were rusted shut. Elias pushed them open, stepping onto the overgrown path. As he approached the house, the air grew heavy, charged with unseen energy. Inside, cobwebs brushed against his skin. Dust motes danced in the slivers of sunlight piercing through cracks in the boarded windows. The air hung thick with the scent of decay and something else, something faintly sweet like honeysuckle. He wandered through echoing halls, each room more dilapidated than the last. In the drawing room, a tattered book lay open on a table. Its pages whispered tales of a bygone era. As Elias ran his fingers over the brittle pages, images seared into his mind. He saw the woman from the photograph, her eyes glowing emerald green in the firelight. He felt the warmth of the hearth on his skin, heard the murmur of voices long since silenced. Then he found the garden. Ivy climbed the crumbling stone wall, its tendrils reaching toward the sliver of sky visible between the overgrown trees. At the center stood a single tree, its bark like polished bone, its leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Beneath it, nestled in the shade, lay a weathered journal. As Elias opened the journal, its pages rustled like dry leaves. The ink bled into his fingertips. With each turn of the page, memories not his own flooded his mind. He saw Sarah, her form solidifying, becoming real. He felt the sun on her skin, the wind in her hair, heard the laughter on her lips. The journal chronicled her every thought, every feeling, every interaction with the garden. It spoke of whispers carried on the breeze, of secrets held in the rustling leaves. It told of a bond forming between Sarah and the garden, a connection that transcended time and memory. Elias devoured the entries, losing himself in Sarah's world. He learned of her dreams for the garden, her hopes to restore it to its former glory. He felt her frustration as the soil stubbornly refused to yield, her determination to uncover the secrets of its infertility. With each passing moment, he felt himself drawn deeper into the garden's embrace. As though its roots were winding around his heart, pulling him closer, the days blurred together. Elias slept beneath the tree, ate berries plucked from hidden bushes. The garden became his world, its boundaries merging with those of his own. He talked to the leaves, confided his worries to the ancient roots. And they listened, rustling in response, sharing secrets in their silent language. One evening, as the sky blazed with hues of orange and purple, Elias felt a presence beside him. Startled, he turned, meeting Sarah's gaze. Her eyes shone with gratitude. "You found me," she whispered, her voice like the chime of a distant bell. You remembered. Over the following weeks, Elias shared what he had learned from the journal. Together, he and Sarah delved into the history of the manor and its grounds, uncovering long-buried secrets. They discovered that the garden had once been a sanctuary for those seeking solace from the bustling city, a place where the air was pure and the earth fertile. But over time, neglect had taken its toll. The soil had become barren, the plants withered, but Sarah had a vision. She wanted to restore the garden to its former glory, to create a haven once again. With Elias's help, she began to clear the overgrowth, revealing hidden pathways and forgotten statues. As the garden slowly came back to life, so did Elias's memories. He remembered why he had come to the archive, the inexplicable pull he had felt toward the photograph. He remembered the dreams, the whispers, the name Sarah, but with the return of his memories came a realization. The garden was changing him, reshaping his thoughts, influencing his actions. He could feel its tendrils coiling around his mind, whispering secrets only it could know. Was it guiding him, manipulating him? Fear gnawed at him, a dark seed taking root in his chest. Torn between his growing affection for Sarah and the unsettling influence of the garden, Elias found himself at a crossroads. The garden thrived, its beauty enveloping him, offering solace and understanding. Yet he couldn't shake off the feeling that it was encroaching on his very essence, threatening to consume him entirely. What was he becoming? Who would he be if he yielded to the garden's embrace? As the weeks turned into months, Elias's internal struggle intensified. He pored over old ledgers, researching the history of the garden and its connection to Sarah. What he uncovered both fascinated and terrified him. The garden, he learned, was no ordinary place. It was a nexus of sorts, a point where the veil between the physical and ethereal realms was thinnest. It had been here that Sarah's ancestors had first stumbled upon the photographs, opening a door to a realm they never meant to enter. But the garden was sentient, a living entity that fed on human emotion. Over the years, it had grown increasingly restless, its whispers becoming more urgent, its presence more imposing. And now it was reaching out to Elias, drawing him into its web, attempting to make him its own. Realization dawned on Elias with the force of a physical blow. He wasn't just drawn to the garden because of Sarah. The garden itself was reaching out to him, seeking to bind him to its purpose, whatever that may be. But why? And how could he stop it? The answer, when it came, was both terrifying and heartbreaking. The garden, he learned, was dying. Its roots, once vibrant and strong, were withering. Its connection to the ethereal realm was fading. And with it, the garden's essence was slipping away, taking with it the memories, dreams, and emotions of those who had come here seeking solace. But there was a way to save it, a terrible, heartbreaking way. Elias learned that the garden's power was tied to the emotions of those who visited, particularly to the concept of hope. Hope. The garden thrived on hope, and it was through hope that Elias could save it. All he had to do was give up his own. With a heavy heart, Elias made a decision. He would sacrifice his hope, giving everything to the garden in a final desperate attempt to save it. But as he embraced his fate, a new memory surfaced, a memory of Sarah, her eyes shining with determination, her voice ringing with conviction. "We can find another way," she said, reaching out to him. "There has to be something else." And then the image faded, leaving Elias with a sliver of hope, just enough to keep him searching, to keep him fighting for a different solution, a better future for Sarah, for the garden, and for himself. For our final scene, let's return to the present, the time when Sarah is packing up her things to leave. Blackwood Manor forever. As she steps out into the bright sunshine, she pauses, turning back to steal one last glance at the house. The garden behind it. Elias's spirit watches from afar, a faint smile gracing his lips. He might be gone, but his essence remains, woven into the fabric of the house, entwined with the garden's fate. Just then, a butterfly flutters past, its wings a kaleidoscope of color. Sarah follows its flight path, her eyes widening with surprise. It leads her to the corner of the garden where the ancient tree stands, its leaves rustling softly in the breeze. And there, nestled among its roots, is a single photograph. Sarah kneels down, brushing away the fallen leaves to reveal its full glory. It's a picture of Elias and Sarah taken on the very first day they met. But it's not the image that captures her attention. It's the faint glow emanating from Elias's eyes, a subtle yet unmistakable sign of the spirit world's influence. A wave of understanding washes over her. She realizes that Elias is not truly gone. His spirit, along with the spirits of all those who have ever found peace within these grounds, are forever bound to the garden. They are the garden, and as long as the garden thrives, so will they. With a newfound sense of peace, Sarah rises to her feet, tucking the photograph safely away. The butterfly, as if sensing the shift in energy, alights on her outstretched finger. Sarah smiles, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the time she spent here, for the connections she's forged, and for the knowledge that even in death, some bonds transcend time and memory. As she walks away from Blackwood Manor, the garden behind her, Elias's words echo in her ears. The archivist must choose, preserve the garden or erase the world. Sarah pauses, turning back for one last look. The garden stretches before her, a tapestry of life, death, and rebirth. It's a place of sorrow, yes, but also of healing, of hope, and most importantly, of connection. Sarah knows what she has to do. With a resolute nod, she turns away from the garden, from the whispers of the past, and steps forward into the unknown. Her journey is far from over. There's still much to uncover, much to understand, but Sarah is ready. She has the strength of the garden within her, the wisdom of those who came before, and the courage to face whatever lies ahead. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider supporting us. Also, please stay tuned for more videos. Until next time,